My name's Matt Lockwood. I am the Net Zero Carbon Support Officer for Portsmouth Diocese. We have almost 170 churches in our diocese. Last year we only had a 15% submission rate for our energy footprint tool, but this year we were able to achieve 100%. Last year the communications about the energy footprint tool were just in our e-bulletin, and they didn't have that much explanation that went out with them. And I think a lot of people didn't really understand what the energy footprint tool was, how it worked, how they would benefit from it. So we had a really low submission rate that year. This year, it became part of my role to promote the energy footprint tool and to engage churches with using it. And so I used our comms and I created a new environment newsletter that promoted the energy footprint tool, that talked about what it did, but also explained and shared other stories that were going on around the country about what the benefit of using the energy footprint tool would be. There's a few things that you can do to really engage with your churches in your diocese. Firstly, developing a strong relationship with your communications team. I'm blessed by being part of the communications team as well as being Net Zero Carbon Support Officer. So I could do all my own communications, but not everyone is in that position. So build a strong relationship with your communications team. Help them understand what it is that you're trying to achieve through communicating about the energy footprint tool and the environment in general, eco-church, all that kind of stuff. And develop a regular pattern of sending out emails that communicate not just to get people to do the footprint tool, but to explain why they should do it, how they will benefit from it, what happens when they do it, how easy it is to do. Another tip is to engage your archdeacons and encourage them to connect with their parishes in their archdeaconries and with the area deans as well, and explain to them how important the energy footprint tool is. Email the treasurers in the parishes, email the church wardens. Don't just focus on just the clergy, but if you like, use the scattergun approach and email as many people as you possibly can who you think will have some influence over who gets the energy footprint tool done in that parish. Another thing that I did within our communications was I presented how each deanery was doing compared to other deaneries. It was a little bit unfair because there are a different number of churches in each deanery, but showing a bar chart in your regular email of which deanery has a higher submission rate than the other deanery creates a little bit of competition. You don't want to shame people too much, but you do want to encourage people to engage with it. And if they're looking at another deanery and saying, well, they're doing so much better, we need to up our game. That's healthy encouragement, it's healthy competition, and it really was effective. Particularly towards the end, when we're getting close to the closing of the energy footprint tool, when people were realising that other deaneries were getting way ahead of them and they needed to pick their game up and get things done. We used the communications toolkit that the national team provided. It's a fantastic resource. We used the guidance that the Guildford Diocese had provided from the previous year. We used the template and the schedule that they had created. I used a spreadsheet to manage every parish that was in our diocese so I could see who had started the energy footprint tool, who had completed it, who hadn't even gone anywhere near it. And that helped me focus my communications. If I knew that there were parishes that hadn't even started it, I could email them directly. I could email different people within that parish. If I knew that someone had started it, got so far on, and had left it, I could then speak to the people that had started it and just encourage them to finish it off, or see if there was anything that I could do to help them get that finished. Sometimes that involved putting in their data for them. That's worth doing, it's worth offering, I found. But anything you can do to help them cross the finishing line. After the energy footprint tool closed, I sent out a thank you email to everyone that had completed it. I showed, and I made a bit of a song and dance over the fact that we had a 100% submission rate. That was really encouraging. It was nice to share that across the diocese. It was nice to say, well done, you have been involved in achieving something that no other diocese had achieved. I also followed that up with emails that showed what we were going to do with the data, how we could use that data, and also to encourage parishes to think about, now that they could see what was happening in the diocese in terms of energy use, the primary heating sources that were going on, that were being used, how they could think about for the future when they were planning to replace their boiler or upgrade their heating system, how they could think about what was going to be right to bring down carbon emissions in their parish and overall in our diocese. It can seem like a big slog to try and get every single parish to engage with the energy footprint tool, but it's so worth doing. And if I can give you one piece of advice, it is this: don't give up. Don't look at your spreadsheet and think this is never going to happen. Don't try and get everybody all at the same time. That can be kind of a mammoth task to do. Focus it on different deaneries, focus it on different benefices. Focus on the people that you know are maybe struggling with engaging with the energy footprint tool. Do it bit by bit, break it down into chunks, and it'll be much easier to see your way through to getting a higher return rate than you did last year.